Hello everybody, and we're back for the next song in the set. This actually, while I'm talking about it, the Lord kind of gave me this song, and I felt in my spirit the other song too. So I'm going to see if I can perform a miracle and do both songs in this one video. What song am I talking about? Carl Thomas's My First Love. But I've been hearing as well Avant's My First Love featuring what's her name? Kiki Wyatt. And I didn't know that was a remake to a song that was from the 80s. I heard that version last summer. And now I'm going to give you the one from what God gave me last night, which was Carl Thomas's version. Then I'm going to give you Avant's version, and we're going to see how this works. So give me 1 second while we get this started. Okay, as we start, it starts with, intro music and the first two words. Then it gets into the first verse. Back in high school, I knew a girl just like you. Some of your God-ordained spouses have met somebody previous to you that looked just like you. They either looked just like you, or the person that they've been with in their past was like you, giving me so much of Usher. You remind me of a girl that I once knew. That's what you have done. Lord, can I say this? Because the last time I tried to say this, okay, he's giving me the right to say this. I have been having this vision. I don't know why. Maybe this is true. Maybe that's why I'm having it. But I'm going to tell you some experience that I've had. There's been an experience that I had previously that before I got to a place, people have been having a deja vu with me that I was unaware of. I get to a location and they're like, weren't you just here? What are you talking about? I've never been here before. What do you mean? You were here 3 hours ago. I've never been here before. What are you talking about? When I went to college, the first day I walked in the bookstore, the person at the counter said, did you forget something? I said, excuse me, what are you talking about? Hold on. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never been here before. This happened again when I was in, it was about 7 years ago. I was here staying in the same place, and I did my nails that morning. In my mind, I said, I'm going to do my nails. I had some peel on nail things, and I said, I'm going to do my nails this morning. I went out to go to the library, and a woman walks up to me. This is even creepier, because she says to me, oh, you found the nail shop. I said, excuse me, I never met you before. What are you talking about? She says, I was just talking to somebody who looked like you about an hour or so ago. She said she was looking for the nail shop, and I thought that you were her because you did your nails. What are you talking about? So with that being said, I believe your God-ordained spouse has met somebody that was your identical duplicate. They maybe have met them in a random place like a coffee shop. And in order to spark their interest, God made them meet somebody. And this is what I've been feeling in my spirit. The person that they met, when they met this person, specifically for the one that they became attached to that was like you, this was God bringing the notion to their eyes. They met somebody that looked just like you. And the person that looked just like you was probably what you're going to be when you've attached to them and become associated. And you've adjusted to being in that lifestyle. The person they met is a reflection of what you're going to become once settled in the relationship with them. And they came to the realization, hey, I want that. But what the counterfeit did was they came in and they seemed like what that person was, but had the characteristics of what you are. Okay? And it scared them. But they went through hell with the counterfeit. Remember The Little Mermaid? If you haven't watched it, go watch it, because that's exactly what happened. The prince, he was preparing to be married. He meets Ariel. She can't speak. But he heard her before she lost her voice. He heard her singing. He came into contact with her via her voice, and he knew he wanted that. Your God ordained spouse came in contact with a version of a person that looked like you, that was what they want, but what you will become after being with them. And they wanted it, but what happened is Ursula took her voice and then became a counterfeit that looked like a duplicate of her, just with black hair. And she now had her voice. So the counterfeit tried to do a splitting spell and use your image and your likeness in order to create what was the assumed view of what you were, but is not you. So now they're about to come into contact with you. And what is they saying? You remind me of that person I knew. Okay? Okay. So she was heaven sent. They thought that the counterfeit was heaven sent. But they were doing trying to do a split and spell to put on your persona, masquerade as you, and put all your characteristics on them. And because your man's a hopeless romantic, they fell for it immediately. Because they knew that's what they wanted, but it wasn't you. All the time we spent, you kind of look like her. You kind of look like either the counterfeit or that first person. And the first person probably did look like you. I can't tell you how many times I met people that looked exactly like my God ordained spouse. I'm like, what? It was like, was the devil listening to my thoughts and just trying to send a counterfeit? He was desperately trying to send a counterfeit that looked identical to my God ordained spouse. Because I mean, these people, it was ridiculous. I remember the way we were. Because we were all in love. And I'm feeling you because you make me feel that way. It seems like I'm dreaming. I can't believe myself. I found somebody else. Your God ordained spouse does not know that he's going to find exactly what he wants, what the counterfeit tried to be. But God has been and has shown them by setting the counterfeit on fire, because they could not carry the weight of your anointing. When your God ordained spouse tested them, they couldn't carry it, and they failed miserably and had to let him go. And now they're coming to you and they're like, he's going to be like, I can't believe this. I found somebody else. You remind me of that girl that I was in love with first. They are going to be dumbfounded at how much you remind them of that counterfeit that slipped in trying to pretend to be you, because they were trying to be you. It wasn't them. It was the fact that they were trying to be you. My first love, because this one sprung them. If they weren't in love before, they got sprung on this one. God allowed it so that they could see that they wanted it. Go back and watch Perfect Match again if you did not. I can't let you go. Now that they've gotten to you, they're going to come to the realization, and this is why they're going to marry you like that, because they can't let you go. You're special like my first love. Some of your men actually did have a first love, meaning way back in the day, they met somebody that they let go and had to because they just couldn't maintain the relationship with that particular person. And you're going to remind them of that person too. But they weren't the one because you were always the one. Now, I'm not letting go. They're not going to let you go. I think you need to know. I might not let it show. These men may have a little bit of a hard time getting into the adjustment phase once they marry you, if you're supposed to get married that fast, or showing it to you in the beginning. Think about the movie Stella Got Her Groove Back. It took her and what was his name? I forget what his name was. But it took her a while after they came back from the Bahamas together to really finally say she loved him and to show it. But he knows that you need to know. I've been through this before. They've fallen in love, especially with the counterfeit. And if they've had a counterfeit that they fell in love with multiple times because they've kept repeating the relationship over and over and over again, it still wasn't working. They went through it before. And some of them went through it in multiple relationships because that person was never the one. She got away somehow, but that won't happen now. Never again. Finally, I found that friend. They thought that they had a friend in that person, but that person was using them. But you have the heart that they are desiring in the relationship, that they really truly want to express, and the love that they truly desire. And for some of you that have been through a prodigal situation and they're coming back to you, but this is mostly for my ladies that are waiting for the one that they've never met before. You're 5'2". Shut up. Oh my God. I actually am 5'2". This is creepy. Brown eyes. Do you not see my eyes are brown? I don't know what to say. You make me feel that way. They're characteristics and attributes that just make you feel, or make them feel like this is a deja vu moment. I can't believe, and that in the deja vu, it literally is the familiarity God needed them to feel in order to move at the pace that they need, that God needs them to move at to marry you so quickly. I don't know what to say. You make me feel that way. It seems like a dream. Like I'm dreaming. I can't believe myself. I found somebody else. They feel like this can't be true. This is a dream. Am I dreaming this? Is this really happening to me right now? Is this real? A real thing. Hold on.